today's meeting, and I also
MD sir is not available. Networking issue. Please, Sutapa ma'am, continue please.
Okay. Now I request our Rituparna ma'am to give her welcome address.
Thank you, Sutapa, madam. I, Rituparna Pal, in charge principal of GC Pal College of Education, at the outset would like to welcome you all in this national seminar on behalf of our college poribar. Actually, I believe that the opportunity of welcoming anyone in our own arena is the blessings of God. Here we are enriched to welcome our resource person, Dr. Ramakanta Mahalik, and all other learned educationists from different parts of our nation. Here, in pandemic lockdown circumstances, we have waited so long with the expectation of recovery from COVID-19. But we should be positive at all our spheres of life as well as our professional academics. So organizing such ICT-based seminar will definitely make a smooth and fruitful running of our educational processing. It will develop the teaching learning process and fulfillment of objective of our circumstances. I wish you all the best for the success of this online seminar. My regards and greetings to all. Thank you. Now I request Shankar Barman sir to conduct the next session. Shankar sir.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Audible.
It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing our speaker, Professor Ramakant Mahalik, Department of Education, Regional Institute of Education, NCERT Bhubaneswar. It is quite difficult to mention the academic achievements of Professor R.K. Mahalik within this short period because there are a lot of achievements in his academic career. In spite of this, briefly, I am saying that he started his career as lecturer in education in 2004 at Regional Institute of Education, RI Mysore. Then he joined RI Bhubaneswar in 2006. He joined as reader in education at Vishwabharati Shantiniketan, West Bengal in 2010. From 2011, he has been there in RI Bhubaneswar. His area of specialization are research methods and statistics in education and ICT in education. He is a very good innovator. He is introduced quality improvement for the teacher and assessment methodology in teaching. He has established networks with various organizations like NCERT, NCT, UGC, MHRD, and other leading teacher training institute of India. He has 16 years of undergraduate and postgraduate teaching and research experience. He is also a good researcher. He has still published 60 national and international research papers in the field of education. He had completed 6 research projects funded by national funding agencies. 9 students have been awarded PhD under his supervision. He has presented and chaired number of national and international seminars and conferences on education. Professor Mahalik is a regular research person for different faculty development programs of different universities. Now, I request Professor Ramakant Mahalik sir to start his lecture. Sir?
প্রথম 30-40% শোনাই গেছে।
Sir, please start the session.
হয়ে পড়ে আমি বসে দিই আমার কিছু লেখিয়ে পড়ে না
Shankar, is it audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
sir.
এই প্রথম পার্ট
Okay, okay.
Sir,
Sincere thanks to the organizer, GC Paul College of Education, the principals, the MD, the faculty members, and especially to the coordinator Shankar Burman. I feel very happy to speak on a very important topic, very relevant topic, very necessary topic during this lockdown period. So we are all part of education. Some of you are faculty members, some of you are research scholars, some of you are students, maybe some of you are teachers. So therefore, I may feel little difficulty in presenting, and therefore I will try to make my presentation as simple as possible. I will make my presentation in a simple language. I will try to present in the simple concept of ICT and how it is useful for the education, for the teaching, for the learning. So before starting my presentation, I hope all of you are in the home and all are well. And at the same time, I pray to the God, all of you will be healthy in future also during this corona period. And as you know that everything at present, from hospital, from banking, from management, everywhere we are using ICT. And ICT has a great role at this crucial moment. And similarly, ICT has given us great opportunity to deal with the educational issues and educational problems. And my presentation will be very, very simple. I will share my screen and this presentation you can see my presentation. And basically before I will be telling you my detailed presentation, these are the 4 or 5 points that I will cover. Initially I will talk about you the changes that brought in the field of education by the corona, by the lockdown, what changes happened. Then I will focus on, so due to this coronavirus or due to this lockdown, what is expected from educational agency, from schools, college, universities. Then I will also briefly cover on what are the different roles, what are the changing role of the teachers, educators, professors, anybody those who are dealing with the education. And finally, I will just share you some of the ICT tools, ICT applications, ICT softwares, which are useful for teachers, for the teacher educators, for teaching well. And at the last, I will share with you some of the initiatives recently taken by Government of India, NCERT, MHRD, for using ICT in the field of education. As you know that, like, you know, the education has been changed now since March. Now our schools are closed. Now our colleges are closed. Now everything is closed. Students and teachers, they are at home. Even some examinations are not completed. Results, we are not sure when the result will come out. We are not sure about when the new academic session will start. Even we are uncertainty about the admission tests, when the admission test will be held for medical, for engineering, for even for a professional courses like B.Ed programs, M.Ed programs, we are not sure about. And this was this is a unprecedented situation we are passing through. Nobody expected something like this will happen in the country like India, and our school, college, university will be closed. We don't know when the school, college will open. So therefore, this is a very unpleasant, very difficult situation we are all facing. We are all educators, we are all teachers. But at the same time, whatever situation may be, it may be pandemic, it may be lockdown, we cannot stop educating our children, because education is the main instrument for social development, for economic development, for technological advancement. So background is the education, and therefore education cannot be stopped. In my opinion, it should not be stopped. And therefore the challenge before us, challenge before the government, before the different organizations, how to start education, how to open our schools, how to engage our children in the field of education, how to help our children in learning. Now we have two goals nowadays from educational perspective. One is we want to flatten the corona infection curve. At the same time, we want to enhance, we want to increase the learning curves of the students in the country, in our country. And therefore, in this situation, the pandemic has, the lockdown has forced us to change. So now what is happening due to corona? What is happening now? Now the educational institutions, it may be school, college, university, we are now rearranging. I'm talking about the post-lockdown periods. When the lockdown will be over, when the lockdown will be relaxed, the educational institutions will be rearranged, restructured, reformatted. The basic principles we should follow or will follow after lockdown period is social distancing. Our classroom will be rearranged as per the requirement of the social distancing. So our school, college, university will start or will work in shifting, morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift, in the shifting. This is, I'm talking about the post-lockdown periods. And the highest emphasis will be given on cleanliness and hygiene of the students, hygiene of the staff, and hygiene of the campus itself. I think this is something very, very important that we look after, or that the school will do after the lockdown is over. And the second point is, the strategy of teaching we have to change now. The strategy of teaching in India, not in India, almost in the world, the basically strategy of teaching we are following is face-to-face. So we are habituated, we are familiar with face-to-face modes. But now this pandemic has forced us to online teaching, blended learning. This is something remote learning. Remote learning, I mean, the teacher will be one place, the students will be one place. That is something happened in the distance education system. remote learning. Even our formal education like school and college. Just 1 minute, I think somebody is sharing the screen and who is writing. I am not doing anything here. So any co-host is doing something, defiguring my presentation. So you please take care. I don't know who is doing it. I am not doing anything. Why it is happening? And the second point is like, alternative educational calendar. Like, what happens usually we have a curriculum, we follow the curriculum, we have a internal assessment, we have a half yearly assessment, we have a terminal assessment. This what we are habituated with. Now due to this pandemic, we have to follow an alternative educational calendar, and I am happy to share you that the NCERT and the Regional Institute of Education, we have developed this academic educational calendar for school education, and which was approved by the Government of India, the Minister of MHID. Now the entire country is following this alternative educational calendars. Again, the pandemic has forced us to rethink on the process of examination. Now we are thinking on open book examination. So just yesterday we got a note from the Government of India. They are suggesting now in future no examination will be postponed. It may be school, college, university, no examination will be postponed, including recruitment tests, admission tests, no examination will be postponed. They have suggested we have to think or we have to get ready for open book examination. We should ready for online testing. Students may not come to the institute, students may not come to the school, but we should get ready, we should prepare ourselves for open book examination. Similarly, the pandemic is forcing us, even after this lockdown is over, we should do for online internship. Our internship program will be online. All Viva examinations for MPhil, for PhD, for recruitment tests. So everything can be done through online. I think this is something pandemic has forced the educational institutions, the universities and college for getting ready, and that will be implemented in the post-lockdown periods. Again, further the pandemic, this is something very, very important. The pandemic also necessitates teaching from home that I was talking about, the remote learning. So now we have to teach from home. All of you, those who are teachers, those who are teacher educators, those who are professors, all of us are teaching from the home. Now, due to this pandemic, one thing is coming up now, use of multi-put pedagogy. Now in a face-to-face situation, we use, most of the times we use a single pedagogy style. It may be a lecture method if you are following, if you are following a constructivist pedagogy you are following, but now we are thinking for a multiple pedagogy. Our teachers, our educators, our professors should be get ready for multiple pedagogic technique. One of the very important and which is very new to Indian context is homeschool culture. Due to this pandemic, now though we want to, use home as a school. Now the teacher will teach through online, the parents will help them, help the children so that they can learn something. This is something homeschool. The role of the school will be done by the home, the parents, the guardians. Pandemic has necessitated also a flipped learning. It's a new innovation in the teaching learning. Flipped learning. The task will be given, the material will be shared with the students. They will read from the home, and the next day they can have a discussion online. Flip learning means something will be done in the school, something will be done in the home. The material will be shared with the children. The children will learn it, read it, they will try to understand something. Then next day there will be interaction, there will be discussion through online. So this is now due to this pandemic, the role of the parents has increased in many folds. Now the parents are acting as a teacher, and it is very, very important in the prime classes. Now it is necessitated for virtual reality. Now because the experiment, we cannot go for a physical experiment to the school, to the lab, and therefore we can use a experiment like virtual reality experiments, laboratory, that we have to use it. Then development of e-content. So e-content, now this is something every teacher educator should plan for that. We should go for a this is something very, very important for us as a teacher educator, as a teacher, changing role of teacher. Changing role of the teacher, this is something very, very important. Now, as I told you, the role of teacher has been changing now due to this lockdown, due to the pandemic. As a teacher, since we are all habituated with the only face-to-face teaching, now we have to get oriented, we have to get familiar with the remote teaching, a distance teaching. Then another role now as a teacher we have to do is contextualize the pedagogy. I was talking about a multiple pedagogy. Here I'm talking about as a teacher, you have to contextualize pedagogy. We need to collaborate, we need to engage peers, the senior students, the mentors. Then only we can have a better pedagogy or better teaching. As a teacher, we should know how to integrate open education resources in our teaching learning process. Open education resources in our teaching learning process. Earlier, we are following only the textbook. Only textbook we are following earlier, but now the open education resources. So online class almost is costly. Sometimes due to technicality, due to connection, also we may face difficulty, and therefore our discussion will be very, very minimum. As a teacher, my discussion will be minimum, but I will share you, I will give you link. Students can on their own, they can see the video, they can read the text. That is something I should know how to integrate the open education resources in my teaching. As a teacher, I should be familiar with the development of e-content, activities, quiz and tests, online quiz, online testing, all the teacher educators we should are familiar with. I think this is something very, very important that is happening nowadays, and this is role of the teacher is the supporting the learners and parents during this pandemic. Students are in anxiety, in stress, what I should do. My exam has not completed. And when my result will out, what course I will take, I will get admission. The same kind of problems the parents are also facing. Now this is also role of the teacher to support, to provide help, both academic and socio-personal, to the learners and parents. This is something new role of the teacher, and I think this is very, very essential during this pandemic situation. Role of the teacher is also to create a community awareness. You imagine if you are working in a remote place, in a rural area, in a village area, then we have to create awareness among our fellow villagers, the local people, about the corona, about the safety measures, about the guidelines of the government to be followed. Not only that, most important role of the teacher after lockdown is over, we have to create a safe and hygienic school environment. And until unless this is assured or ensured, it is very difficult for the parent to send their children. Their children may not send until unless we create a safe and hygienic school environment. So these are the things as a teacher we have to get ready for that. I think all these problems what I highlighted so far, I have highlighted what are the problems I have highlighted so far. And only one tool that is helpful for teacher during this pandemic, during this lockdown period, even after the lockdown period, is use of ICT. So ICT can help us as a teacher educator, as a teacher, to do something for helping children to learn, to do something to run our education system. This is ICT. So here ICT is a very common term, so we are all familiar with, but I have defined in a different way: information and communication technology. So by using a information and communication technology, you can create something, you can store something, you can retrieve, you can manipulate, you can send, you can receive. When all these 6 things you are able to do, then you are using ICT. Sometimes you say only you have taken a photograph. Photograph is a part of ICT. You have created. Not only creating, you can store it, you can modify it, you can edit it, you can share with your friends. So ICT means when you want to do all these things by using a mobile networks, by using a digital gadgets, by using some computer networking systems. I think this is something very, very important for us when I'm talking about ICT. These are the different ICT materials. These are something ICT materials as a teacher we should be familiar with. ICT materials, sometimes people say e-materials, sometimes people say e-content. It includes text, it includes image, audio, video, animation, simulations, interactives, so everything. So everything is includes e-content, e-materials. As a teacher, we can okay. As a teacher, we should be familiar with creating and using all these kind of materials during our teaching learning activities. So then here one slide very quickly I may speak about why we are talking of ICT during this lockdown period, during this pandemic situation. Because ICT makes learning simple, ICT makes learning easy and interesting. ICT makes learning individualized. When I'm talking about individualized, I means I can read in the evening, I can read at the night, I can read in the morning. Therefore, learning is individualized. At any time I can read. Then ICT makes learning lively, real, interactive. I'll share you maybe my remaining presentation. I'll share you some of the mobile applications, some of the softwares by using which you can use your, you can make your teaching really interactive. Then ICT makes learning universal access. Anybody can access the learning. I don't know what is something is happening here. Who is writing something? Any host, please check. Any host, please check. If anybody is doing something, I'm not doing anything here. Okay. Any host, please check. Who is somebody is using pen, please. Please, any participant or host, if you are using a pen on the screen and you are defiguring my presentation, for your information, the session is being recorded and it will be uploaded in YouTube for other participants. So you please refrain from doing anything that is defiguring the slides. Okay, so I was talking about ICT makes learning universal, ICT makes learning less costly. The common example now we are attending 500 participants are attending now with a very minimum cost. I can reach to different parts of the country, so cost is very less. If we organize same kind of program physically, it may cost lakhs of rupees. So therefore ICT makes learning less costly. By using ICT, we can provide a quality education, quality learning materials. Even when I'm talking about education should be collaborative, education should be cooperative, I think ICT has a great help. You send a message, immediately you will get a reply. You ask a question, you will get many answers. Then ICT makes learning inclusive. By using ICT, even we can help the children with the special needs. They can also get benefit out of our ICT facilities. And basically okay. So after knowing what are the benefits of ICT during lockdown period and this pandemic time, and this is something ICT in education, when I refer, these are the 4 aspects where ICT can be utilized. ICT for learning purpose. As a student, we can learn by using ICT. I think this is one of the best resources for us now. Instead of physically visiting library, we can learn many things from PDFs, from PPTs, by using our laptops, by using our mobile phones. So ICT for learning, ICT for a teaching, as a teacher, as a professor, as a teacher educator. So ICT is helpful. ICT for professional development, which is very, very important. I think this open air is also a part of professional development initiatives. ICT can help us in the professional development of teacher and teacher educator. We can learn something new. We can develop our skills. Then ICT for school governance. I think this is being used throughout country, in university, in college, even in small schools, they are using ICT for governance. So out of these 4 parts, my the remaining presentation will be based on ICT for teaching. As a teacher educator, what are the different tools available for that? When I'm talking about that, this is something, now. So earlier also, we have discussion for the teachers, but about the development of technological pedagogical content knowledge, TPACK, technological pedagogical content knowledge. But now why again I am using here, this is a real time when all teachers should develop this kind of knowledge. This is a real time. This is an urgent requirement for all teachers to develop technological pedagogical content knowledge. For your information, I should share you, it came in the news, majority of our teachers are not familiar to use or familiar to take online classes. Majority. And yesterday that in the note that came, so very harassing note came from some sources. They have written, teacher and teacher appointment should be taken out of B.Ed mafia. They have given the B.Ed that we are providing now, the teacher education that we are providing now, they are not competent to teach online. They are competent to use educational technology for the teaching. That means our B.Ed program has not prepared teachers to handle this kind of situations. To take online classes, very few people, very few teachers, they take online classes. So therefore, during this pandemic time, during this lockdown period, every teacher should try to develop this knowledge, technological, pedagogical content knowledge. So as a teacher, you have content, you have knowledge of the subject, you know your subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, education, you know the subject. You have done your masters. And you also, by attending B.Ed program or by attending some teacher education program, you are also familiar with pedagogical knowledge. You know how to teach, how to write on the board, how to ask questions, how to lead a group discussion, how to prepare teaching aids, that you know, technological knowledge. Pedagogical knowledge also you know. What is lacking now in our teacher education, in our teacher communities? Technological knowledge. Knowledge of the technology, knowledge of the different applications, knowledge of the different softwares. Now, if you put together three things, content, pedagogy, and technology. Earlier as a teacher, you need content, pedagogy, face-to-face class. In a face-to-face class, mostly content and pedagogy, if you know, you can be an effective teacher. You can be a very good teacher by using content and pedagogy. But this pandemic situation, you cannot have a face-to-face class. And therefore, you have to go for a technological teaching. Therefore, the knowledge of technological, pedagogical content knowledge, we have to develop it. I think this is essential during this lockdown, even after the lockdown. Again, for your information, it may happen in the country, 25% of the syllabus will be taught through online. 25% of the syllabus will be taught through online. Regular classes will, the school may open. Our students can come join the regular classes. But we have to teach some portion of the syllabus online. And online teaching requires the knowledge of the technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. That means if this is the content, this is the pedagogy, what kind of technology is required for that? If this is the content, geography, then this is my pedagogy, I want to use a discussion mode. Then which kind of technology I should use? The three things should match. Three things you should be able to integrate. Then only you can become a good teacher. I can say you are fit to teach in a digital era. You should know, or you should integrate all the things. Another point I should tell you, almost, if you are a young teacher, like 25, 30, then you may be having some technological knowledge out of your own interest or by attending some trainings. Imagine our senior teachers, our senior colleagues. So for them it may be difficult, but gradually this pandemic has forced them to learn the technology. Sometimes they are also using technology for teaching. So I think what I want to say, when I'm talking about the ICT-based teaching, the foundation of ICT-based teaching is to develop pedagogical, technological, pedagogical content knowledge, the foundation. The foundation of ICT-based teaching is development of technological, pedagogical content knowledge. This is something, integration of content, pedagogy, and technology. I said I am using a word here, is a integration of content, pedagogy, and technology you put together. Then only you can develop a pedagogical content knowledge, I think, which is essential for us that I'm using. with this kind of background, I will little bit coming to the teaching. This is a usual phase of teaching. When talking about teaching, so here I will try to link teaching in a face-to-face class and teaching in a remote class. Speaking in a remote class, so usually everybody we know, like teaching has a 3 phases: the pre-teaching phases, the teaching phases, and post-teaching phases. So these three phases we are familiar with. But now the question is, we have to use ICT in all the 3 phases of teaching. When I'm talking about the ICT based teaching, I said the foundation is the development of technological, pedagogical content knowledge. But this is again the very classical model of teaching: pre-teaching, teaching, and post-teaching. Wherever you teach, either you teach in a face-to-face or you teach in a remote. You have to follow this pre-teaching, teaching, and post-teaching. Now, ICT should be integrated. ICT should be utilized in all the 3 phases: in a pre-teaching phases, in a teaching phases. So that we have to do it. I'm sorry to tell you, I think maybe participant or some host maybe they've just joined the meeting and they've given their mobile to their children. And the child is doing all the things. And this is one of the limitation of the online teaching. I'll show you my last slide. I'll show you what is the limitation of this is one of the example of limitations. And some maybe children is doing all the things. Okay. So I am talking about here, ICT should be utilized, should be integrated in a pre-teaching, teaching, and post-teaching. 3 phases we have to learn it. And the basic ICT tools, these are the basic ICT tools that we use it. 3 basic ICT tools usually we use. And almost all of you are familiar with this. We should know how to work with Word, MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel. These are the three basic points everybody should know it. And these are these are some of the tools, and these tools, some of you may know these tools, or you may not be knowing, or some of you may be knowing and using it also. That is good. But these are some of the tools which is helpful for ICT based teaching, which is helpful during this lockdown period, which is even helpful after this school opens. These are mostly helpful for remote teaching and remote learning. One of the tools, like we are all familiar with the Google Search. So Google Search has answer to every question. Answer to every question. The meaning of the word you can find in Google Search. You know, the synonymous word you can find in Google Search. The news you can find in Google Search. This is I think this is something which is required for even as a learner. You can learn by using this, or as a teacher also you can get some idea for preparing for your class. Google Search, Google Docs and Drive. These are the saving. These are the storage service provided by Google. You can online store your material that you later you can retrieve and utilize it. The YouTube video. YouTube nowadays, you know, one of the important learning resources is YouTube channel. You can get YouTube video presentation on any topics of your subject. You go to the YouTube and try to search any topic: physics, chemistry, education, Any topic you like, you will get a very good video, very authentic video. Then Facebook is social networking. Nowadays, what is happening? YouTube live streaming is also coming. Facebook live also is coming. And I think nowadays, most of the professors, they are also using this, like, Facebook, social networking sites. Skype, one-to-one interaction. So earlier we know Skype, there is a Skype. Those who stay in America and those who stay in India and their relative, they want to talk, they talk by using a Skype. But now the Skype is a common application. Through Skype, we can have a viva voce examination, we can have a presentation, we can have an interview also. And I think this is something I have written here, WordPress, another ICT learning tools now you can use is blogging. Blog is a online writing space where you can write, you can share with your friends, you can share with the public, you can get a comments. Blogging, if you are very good in writing, or you want to write or express your creativity, so you can use the WordPress. This is available in laptop, this is also available in mobile phones. And this is one ICT tools, Canvas. So due to limitation of times, I cannot explain each and everything. But if you can, I will share this presentation will be shared with you through your email ID. So you can try using Canvas, that is a mobile application. You can write e-portfolio. We are all familiar with the portfolio. Portfolio is an assessment tool. So for developing portfolio, we can utilize Canvas. So in the portfolio, you can create, you can save each and every activity of yours. You can save it, and later you can retrieve, you can submit to your teacher. Okay. Dropbox is a application for sharing files with others. Suppose imagine you are teaching in a university. You want to share a 100-page document. You want to share a 100-page document with your students. Use this Dropbox, the file share. One share, it can reach to each and every student. Sharing files, sharing notes, sharing books, you can do it. I think all of you may be familiar with Wikipedia, finding out on any topic. You cannot just find out everything, you can contribute. Wikipedia has a feature where you want to write something, you can contribute to Wikipedia, and which can benefit many other teachers, many other students, many other faculties. WhatsApp, we are very familiar. Nowadays, during this lockdown period, WhatsApp has been utilized to maximum by the school authority, by the teachers. Every day we used to get some assignment, some task for my children from the school. The WhatsApp, usually once we started using WhatsApp as a messaging app by sending good morning, happy birthday, happy anniversary, we are usually doing it. But imagine during this lockdown period, WhatsApp becomes a learning application now. All the school, college, university. So this is fantastic. And Kahoot, I was telling as a teacher, we have to learn how to develop online quiz, ICT-based quiz questions. I think this is an application, Kahoot, game-based classroom response system. You can design a game, mathematical game, language game, you can develop. It requires, these are self-explanatory. Like, if you put some effort on your own, you can also use everything. Evernote is a mobile application for taking notes. As a teacher, sometimes you want to take notes. As a student, you want to take notes. So you can use Evernote, you can save it. SlideShare, I think all of us are familiar with the SlideShare presentation. But only one thing I want to tell you, don't only use presentation from SlideShare. Please do contribute to the SlideShare also. You upload all your SlideShare, all these presentations that you prepared to the SlideShare for the larger benefits. You prepare, but only you should be careful. Don't copy the PPT of somebody else, and don't copy and upload it in your name. Plagiarism. You should be careful about plagiarism when you are sharing something on SlideShare. But SlideShare is very fantastic. Camtasia is a application that you can record something, edit something on video related activities. Suppose you want to create an educational video, you are teaching chemistry and you want to take a video, and by using this application you can create a video, you can edit the video, and you can share with the student. I think this Coursera is an online course platform. It is a MOOC platform. We are all familiar with these MOOC platforms are usually useful for our professional development, for the getting some new courses or new knowledge on any topics. So then we can go to like some other things. Email we are all familiar. Google Meet, during this lockdown period, maximum we are not familiar earlier with what is Google Meet. Now the Google Meet is being used by most of the maybe professors, most of the teachers for teaching. Google Meet is a live group conversation. Even this webinar can be organized through Google Meet. Every day people are taking class on Google Meet. So the application, we should be familiar with that. Google Maps for teaching geography, for teaching, like you can locate a place by using a Google Map. You can indicate, you can show. Quizlet is a tool that helps a teacher to teach, like develop a quiz, educational quiz. This is something what I'm talking. You taught something, then you want to test the child. You can design a test by using a Quizlet, and that can be shared with your students. You can get a response. Simple example like Google Forms. You can use Google Forms for your online testing after you finish your teaching. So instead of sending a question in writing, you send a link of Google Form where the students can record their response. It will come to you automatically. Then Blogger, I'm talking about Blogger. This is also Blogger is a platform where you can write, you can edit, you can express. Now, when you're talking about collaboration, cooperation, interaction, this is all part of constructivist learning pedagogy. I think ICT is more helpful in a constructivist pedagogy. Blogger can help us. I am writing on a social issue. What is the impact of COVID-19 on education? So I have written something, I share with friends. 200 people read it, they have given their comment, then we can write it. Google Scholar, I think mostly the people who in higher education who use a Google Scholar, where we can get research papers, research articles, research journals. Zoom that we are using now. Like Zoom, we have another application. This is also freely available. Jitsi, Jitsi, Jitsi is also another application, video conferencing application that you can utilize for your teaching. Like Google Meet, we have another video conferencing application. It's Team Link. You can try Team Link. We can use a mobile application like Edmodo. Edmodo is a mobile application. In Edmodo you can install Edmodo in your mobile. Then you can create a classroom. You are the teacher. and you ask all your students to join as a participant, they are your students. So one teacher, many students. So here, as a teacher, you can provide them assignment. They can write the assignment online, they can send to you. You can read their assignment and you can send the feedback. So here everything is possible online. You send material, let them read, let them write the assignment task, send to you, you give the feedback, mobile. Same thing will happen in a Google Classroom, if you are familiar with Google Classroom. I think these are the applications which are very, very important during this pandemic period when our students are in remote. So therefore, as a teacher, we should develop right? And some of the things like this is all apps for virtual experiments, for conducting experiment in science. By conducting experiment, any science subject, you can go for all apps. All apps you can do it. Google Earth, I think if you've used any time Google Earth, you would like to see the street of Canada, you can go there. You just write Canada, name of the city of any place you write, then Google Earth will take you that place you can see. If you like to go to now the Park Street, Kolkata, you can go there and see. So anything we can see, this is useful for teaching of geography, Google Earth. And I think I have given a kind of information to you. There are different applications, different softwares are available and which are helpful during this lockdown period. As a teacher, we should learn and we should develop our skill. I think this is on basis of this, I have designed an activity. You note down this activity and when you send your feedback, you fill this table and send to us. This is activity, activity for participant, pre-teaching, teaching and post-teaching. So here you want to fill what are the applications are useful for me as a teacher during pre-teaching, what are the applications are useful during teaching, and what are the applications are useful during post-teaching. So one table you prepare and write, you select what are the discussion I make, from there you select it and write it. So besides this thing, these are some of the very subject specific applications I have collected. Subject specific, as a subject teacher, you are a mathematics teacher, GeoGebra can be utilized. You are an English teacher, Hangman can be utilized by an English teacher. Chemistry teacher, Calcium, Avogadro, so you can utilize. Geography, Marble. So, these are some of the subject specific applications are available that you can also utilize during your teaching, subject specific. So other things like this, I don't know who is creating this problem. Somebody creating this problem. When you are attending, there may be some difficulty in online, but when you are attending a online program, the minimum rules regulation we have to follow it, and this is what is happening again. And I am telling, somebody is given the mobile or laptop to their children. The children is writing whatever he like, and after my repeated request, the people is not responding. So that means he has given just to join the program and given the mobile and gone somewhere, maybe doing something. This is limitation. Okay, anyhow, I think before I conclude, I want to tell you something like, this presentation I will share with you. Only another 5 minutes I will take and I will finish. When I'm talking about ICT integrated teaching, ICT based pedagogy or use of technology in education, I think we should also know about, in India, this is one institution, Central Institute of Educational Technology, the part of NCERT under Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of India. This is an organization which is working on or completely devoted for use of educational technology. Nowadays, that CIT is creating educational programs, transmitting educational programs relating to the school education. So now we are all, these are some of the very familiar mobile applications we have developed in CIT, like ePathshala. In ePathshala, if you can have a mobile app, you can get all the textbooks, class 1 to class 12, all the textbooks are freely downloaded. You can download it. Not only the textbook, you will get many books for teacher educators, teaching science, teaching mathematics, assessing for continuous comprehensive assessment. So there are many books, resource books are available on ePathshala that everybody can get it free. NCERT, we are doing it. And we have developed a national repository of open educational resources, NROER. This is a platform we have developed. This contains educational audio and video programs. And these programs are not only developed by NCERT and CIT only, it is also developed by many state agencies, like State Institute of Educational Technology. We have taken their educational programs, we have tested it, we have found its authenticity, then we have included in NROER. And these are the great resources for the school children. And during this lockdown period, our TV channel, Swayam Prabha TV channel. Under Swayam Prabha TV channel, this is an initiative of the Government of India, MHRD. We are running 32 TV channels. And NCERT is running TV channels for school education. Every subject, for every class, we have programs. Some programs are already recorded, we are just telecasting, and some programs are interactive, like live telecasting, we are also doing it. I suggest everybody you can get the detailed idea from which channel it is available. From net, you can get the detailed idea which channel is available. Then from encouraging ICT integration in teaching learning, NCERT has introduced a award, National ICT Award for Teachers. If you are using ICT in your teaching learning, you are creating e-content, video content, then you can send your nomination to the NCERT and CIT. If it's selected, you will be getting an award. This award will be given by the Honorable President of India. And recently, NCERT has developed a training program, a training module. This is called NISTA. And modules, text modules are there, video modules are there. Every regional languages, this is available. I think these are very, very essential for teachers. Those who are working the teacher, if they want to develop their skill, enhance their skill, they can use the NISTA program. NISTA can be utilized. So there are many more initiatives by like MHRD. I will not cover on that. We can have some more question and discussion. This I will share with you. And I think this is something last slide that when I'm talking about ICT integration, everything has a both plus point and negative point also. We're talking about ICT integration during lockdown period, it has many plus points. Or it may have negative aspect also. So keeping in mind, I have suggested some of the. Please, all of you are requested to mute their audio. Okay. Some of the things as a teacher educator, we should keep in mind when you are using ICT for teaching, when you are using online teaching or remote teaching. So number one is, this is very, very important. Number one is psychology of the students. Psychology of the students. Your face-to-face class and ICT integrated class or online class is something different. In a physical class, a child can sit for a long time because you are teaching math, then English, then language, some other language. So a child can sit for a long time. But in an online medium, the child cannot sit for a long time. So it will, the psychology of the student we should keep in mind. Suppose, for example, you only show the video, the child will be bored after some time. Suppose you show only text, the child will be bored after some time. So therefore, as a teacher educator, as a teacher, as a professor, we should keep in mind the psychology of the students, the attention span of the child. My personal experience I'm telling, after 30 minutes, 40 minutes, a child cannot give attention to your teaching. Even adult, we cannot do that. So therefore, the attention span, we should keep it. We have to decide from school authority, from university, from department, we should decide how many hours per day there should be an online class. How many hours per day for online classes? A child cannot continuously listen to you. Okay. Then one of the difficulty that we are facing now during the lockdown when we're talking about online teaching, availability of ICT devices and applications. Maybe some people, maybe some students, they may not be having a ICT device that is supported or that will support the online classes. Maybe some of the people, they may not have a applications, softwares also. So as a teacher, before we start the online teaching, we have to make sure that ICT devices, applications are available. Not only that, one of the major problem now we are facing is the network connection. Connection problem. Even some participant I am seeing here, they are just going again coming, and this is happening because of only network issue. So that also we have to teach limitation. Then type of content. Our content, I am telling, for online classes, we should use multimedia content. Multimedia content, I mean, when you take a class, you should use text, combination of text, image, videos, everything. Not only you don't use only one medium, like only text. If you're only text, that has implication for attention span, that has implication for maybe disturbances in the class. Then again is the level of parents' involvement. Now, when I'm talking about the online classes and talking about the primary class and upper primary classes or nursery classes, they cannot learn from online from their teacher without help of the parents. So therefore, when we are designing our online classes or ICT-based teaching during this lockdown period, you should see what should be the nature of the parent involvement. And therefore, the parents should be communicated, the parents should be informed, and this is your role during my class. Then only your online classes will be successful. Otherwise, it is very difficult to have a benefit from the online teaching. Whatever may be the cases, these are the points I think as a teacher we should keep in mind. But during this corona situation or during this lockdown period, even after the lockdown period is over, we are not sure who will be facing our students, or we are teaching our students face to face. Maybe after 2 months, after 3 months, after 6 months, we are not sure. Only one solution is with us is we have to learn remote teaching. We have to learn the ICT integrated teaching. We have to learn how to use open education resources in our teaching. Then only we can continue our education system. Then only we can help our children to learn. I think this is something I want to present with you. And now I am handing over to the host. We can have a little bit question answer, maybe 3-4 questions we can discuss or interact. Then we will wind up. Yes, it is to host. Yes, Shankar.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Shubham,
Thank you for sharing such an valuable knowledge with us, and it was an excellent presentation. Sir, with your permission, we would like to start the doubt clearance session. If any students are having any doubt, then they can raise their hand and they can even type if they want to ask anything.
Please raise your hand. Okay.
If any participants are having any doubt, they can raise their hand and they can ask.
There is a question from Sudip Bari. Sir, you can ask the question.
Yes, go ahead.
Now you are unmuted. Sudip Bari, sir. Now you are unmuted. So you can ask your question. Please, sir, ensure your network.
Yes.
Okay, he was not available.
Yeah, madam want to ask. You ask now. Yeah, madam Richa Pandey, madam.
Yes.
Please.
Please
Yes.
unmute me.
Yes,
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Richa Pandey from Government PG College, Rajajipuram, Lucknow. My question to you is, how can I get my work published in NCERT publications? How can I get my work published in NCERT publications, sir?
Madam, can you tell me what kind of work you want to publish?
My work is largely on a plant-animal relationship. It is a research work, and I want to get it published in some government journal. And I think there is a journal in NCERT regarding environment and ecology. So, can you please help me out with the procedure, or what is the method? Or a
Okay,
chapter
madam.
in a book will also be okay.
Okay.
Sir, am I
madam.
audible?
Yes. Yes.
So did
madam.
you get my question, sir?
Yes, I got your question, madam. You take.
Thank you.
My email ID I have given on past ID. So you can note down my email ID and send your queries because this is
Sir,
not related
please,
to
sir,
this topic.
can you tell us? I do not know your email.
Email ID. I will be sharing my email ID. You please note down. Okay. So then I will reply to you. I think this is not a forum to discuss, right?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. Can anybody want to ask question? Please raise your hand. Yeah. Khushbu Kumari, please. Yes. This is Archana. Archana, you want to ask something?
Sir,
Yes.
there are so many questions. One participant asked, how can we integrate open education, OER in teaching?
Right. Okay. So when I am talking about open education resources, open education resources, I mean here, it includes video, slide presentation available. So these are the open education resources. How to integrate them? When you are teaching your subject, you can share the link of one video that a student can see, go through the video and they can have a better understanding. Or you can share the slide, then the child can read the slide and get better things. Like, you know, open education resources are additional material that you can share with your students for greater understanding or for better understanding. And this is possible only we are using in the remote teaching, online teaching. When you are giving, to have an interaction. For more, you can suggest some more books, some audio, some video that you can see.
Or sir,
Yes.
next question is there, how can possible experiment in online mode examination in classroom?
So you are asking about the how we can go for an examination.
Yes sir, online mode.
Online mode, you know, I think we are all familiar. NTA, National Testing Agency, is conducting all the examination through online mode only. Like, you know, computerized testing are there. But now in India, we need to work out how online assessment can be done. This is only now we are, I think maybe within 15 days or 1 month it will be, the guideline will be coming out. We can use open book examination. We are having a face-to-face examination because we are afraid that our students will copy.
Yes.
And therefore, we need to bring them at one place, then we'll guard them, they'll write the answer. But now the government is thinking for open book examination. The question will be given to you. You can write from your home. Then you can just scan it and send to it. Now the future is coming like that. Even your Google form, what I'm telling, even Google form also you can write all answer you can write in a Google form and submit. So of course in Indian context, you know, we are not equipped with the such a like in devices and applications. But gradually, maybe within some months, we'll be getting everything, and our infrastructure and software will be available to us. Then we can apply. So this is very new in Indian situation, online examination, and especially for the school. University we can do it. For the school children, it of course is difficult. The government is planning on that, and I think very soon the guidelines will be issued by the MHRD government of India. Thank you. The next.
One question is there in chat box. How can one benefit from online teaching process where net is not available or is too bad or online translation, and we are not. This is the question.
So when the net is not available.
Yes, sir.
So, this is a. So I also talk about there are some limitation of online teaching, because online teaching requires some minimum essential requirements. Like, you know, gadgets, devices must be available. So net connection is most otherwise we cannot connect. Till now, what we are following in NCERT, we suggested people when the net connection is not there, a teacher have to use the phone call. Teacher will call to the parents and explain them the activities. Then the parent can communicate it to the child, and the child will do the activity from the textbook. I think this is something limitation part of the online learning. It's very difficult to do a online learning without an internet connection, without a laptop or mobile. So that we are also cautious about it. You know, after this pandemic, I think India will be equipped with everything what is needed for an online learning, because we never expected or we never prepared for this kind of situation. We are experimenting here. I think all of you agree with me. I am also experimenting. You are also experimenting here. The government is also experimenting. Yes, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello. Hello.
Bolo. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. I have a question to ask, sir.
bolo. Yes.
Sir, is there any difference between remote learning and online learning?
So only, you know, there is a much similarity than differences. Like remote learning, online learning, we are using simultaneously here.
Yes,
So
sir.
online learning means when teaching or learning is taking place online. So what is happening now? This is an online mode we are using. And another term people are using remote learning. Remote learning means mostly we use in a distance education setup. Like, you know, teacher is one place, students at one place. There's a distance between teacher and student. So that is technically that is a difference. Remote learning can take place also. I can send you assignment through post. You can do in your home. Again, you can send by post. Remote learning can take place. But online learning means I will not use any post. I will use only online modes. I think this is only difference between online and remote learning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, one question from Ananya only. Ananya, you can, ma'am, you can ask now. Okay, okay.
Okay. Sir, textbook is a printed material which generally we can use for classroom teaching. So for online teaching, is there any need to change the curriculum?
No. Textbook is the basic material for our formal education. So the textbook will not be changed. But only the medium will be changed. Like, you know, traditionally what we teach face to face. But online mode, instead of face to face, some electronic medium will be used. Like the Zoom application now we are using for discussion, for communicating. I can use WhatsApp as a mode, I can use email as a mode, but only the mode will be different. But the content will be same. But now the government of India also is thinking to reduce the content load because of this corona and the lockdown period. Now NCERT we are working for that. So very soon the government of India will notify how much content will be reduced in the CBSE, and accordingly the state boards will work out the reduced curriculum load for each class.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any question? Then raise your hand, please.
I think, you know, this is a slide you can see. I suggest, I think you can note down my email ID. Any query you please send to my email. I try to answer. Okay. Once again, you know, I thank all of you. Yes.
Hello, I think, hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir, I think we have taken most of the questions from our participants. So thanks all the participants for your questions, and I hope your doubts are clear. As we come to the end of this webinar session, where our topic of discussion was ICT-based teaching during the pandemic, I hope all of us get a very clear idea about how ICT can be used in teaching learning process for getting more benefits. At present, there is no immediate solution to stop the outbreak of COVID-19, and the present situation made us bound to change our habits, thinking, etc. In this system of education, we have to think different ways and means so that without any disruption, we can continue our teaching learning process. Teachers have to change their mode of teaching from traditional to online mode, and we have to rearrange our educational institutions, change our strategies, alternative education calendar, open book exam, many things. So let us join hands for promoting a better learning environment in this present situation by using ICT as base of teaching learning process. Now I request our Sonali ma'am for offer her vote of thanks. Sonali ma'am.
I am on behalf of Disciple College of Education, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the resource person, Professor Ramakanta Mohalik sir, for sharing his valuable knowledge with us and taking out valuable time of his busy schedule. Also, I would like to extend a special thanks to Dr. Krishna Ranjan Pal, Managing Director of Jisipal College of Education, for inspiring and supporting us to organize this event. I heartily congratulate all the participants all over the country for their active participation in this webinar. I would also like to thank Dr. Sharadendu Bera for supporting us throughout the webinar. And lastly, I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to the organizer and coordinator of this webinar, including all the faculty members of Jisipal College of Education. Thank you all for making this webinar successful with your contribution. Thank you.
Coordinator, sir, please.
Yes.
Please announce.
We can end this
WhatsApp field.
webinar here.
Fill the feedback form by the giving link in chat box.
Please, all the participants are requested to please fill your feedback form. Please fill it. Thank you. Sarojini, can we stop or end this session right now?
And also announce we send the slide in all participants in email address due time, but also who are not able to join in the live Zoom meeting, they will follow the YouTube link, which is also given in Telegram group as well as in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you all participants and all signatories. Have a good day.